Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Elliot's Excel exercises. This is the part 2 for the VLOOKUP function. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I advise you to go see that now. This is built on top of that. If you haven't already, please take a second and go down in the description section. I have the Dropbox link for the file for this video if you wanted to download that and work alongside me as I'm doing the video. So last time we were talking about the VLOOKUP formula, and the time before that I had a video for the if-error formula. So today we will be combining these two formulas into an embedded formula. If you don't know what that is, that's a formula within a formula, and the inner formulas do not need an equal sign. During the if-error video, we learned about an error code called the number value. It's very similar to this number NA, however the value is an error where it can't compute whatever you're asking it to. The number sign NA is essentially the formula cannot find the reference that you're telling it to find. This is the common error for the VLOOKUP if you have a formula that has errors, because a VLOOKUP, what it does is it's looking for the reference within a data set, and if it can't find it, it doesn't know what to do with the information, and it'll give you an NA error. Today we'll be mixing the VLOOKUP and the if-error formula, so let's get started. You could start equal if-error. This one will always be on the outside for this combination. And then within this, what you want to do is to just type the next formula right here. Remember what I said, the inner formulas do not need an equal sign, so you can just type. Notice how everything's in all caps, so you can quickly tell if the formula is active or not. So just like last video, we're going to VLOOKUP the check number out of the data set and have it yield the amount. Lookup value will be this, comma, table array will be this, because remember we have the check number and then the amount, F4 to look, comma, column index number, we have 1, 2 columns over, so we'll put a 2, and 0 for false. So when you close your parenthesis, you're really closing the VLOOKUP formula. You still have the if-error formula to continue. So here, we just finished the value section of the if-error formula. And when we put a comma, now we have to put the value if-error. So right here, I'm just gonna write some simple text just so it's easy on the eye. I'm going to put a quotation, I'll put can't find, or you can put not found or something like that. Finish off the quotes, and again put another closing parenthesis, and this will finish off the if-error formula. You can go ahead and press enter on that, and everything checks out. So we know from last video that this check number exists right here and its amount is right here. So we know that this worked. So let's see if everything else works. Double click this. And what do we have here? We have 2 not founds. So why is that? Well, if I take this number, I can copy it with Control C. You can click anywhere on the page and Control F to do the find and replace. So what do you want to find? You can Control V to paste the number you just copied, and you can hit find next. So the only one it finds is in our I column, which is the check numbers that we're using to look, in the original data set, but it's not in the original data set. if we look in here, there is no such number that starts with 201, so it's not found. It's because of the if error formula that it spit out the word not found. So just to educate, if I were to take out the if error version, the if error part of it from the formula, and I just kept it as VLOOKUP, let's just try that. So originally where there were not found messages, now I have two errors where it's the hashtag NA. Right here you can actually see a little error icon pop up, and if you hover over it, it'll say a value is not available to the formula or function. So which value is not available to the formula or function? Well, it's this check number that I told it to look for. This check number, in layman's terms, does not exist in here. That's why it's not found. And the same with this number, and you can look at it and say, well, it kind of looks like all the rest of the numbers, but does it exist? Well, let's see. We can copy, highlight these, Control F, Control V, and find next. There was none. It only exists in this other table that I created. So that's the importance of putting if error on the outside of a VLOOKUP function, because you can immediately tell if something was unfound, and it'll look a little prettier on a report than a hashtag NA. Another thing I want to note is, notice the total down here, the amount. It's trying to sum up all of these numbers, but there are some in here that don't have a number. If it's an error code, it translates down and it makes a snowball effect, and then now our sum function isn't working because it's trying to calculate with an error. It just won't work. I'm going to put the if error back in here. Copy this down. And I want you to notice that the total is back to where it was. But now it's not going to add up text, it's going to treat it as if it's 0. So that's why this number is a little bit lower than this number, because we're missing 2 checks out of this data set that these could have been. But our sum function still works, because since the text not found is technically not an error, all of the formulas later down the road, in this case just the one, will not also error out. And that's it from me today, guys. Hope you like it. Please comment and subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you next time.